Name is Stanley Guillaume. My company's name is called SGA Royal Chauffeur. Um, um, yeah, it's the primary focus of my company is offering luxury passenger chauffeur service.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, for all those folks out there who hit me up and say, Kellen, I'm coming to Miami, I'm coming to South Florida, I need accommodation, I need somebody to make sure, because all the crypto that I have that I've shown everybody online, and I don't know why y'all do that, you make yourself a target. I have a guest, the owner of the company, Sir Stanley. He's going to give us the game on SGA Royal Chauffeur. So you got to be royalty. So the price tag don't come with him saying I got $5. No, it's not $5 that are going to allow him to have the services at his company, the show service, executive protection, all things that you guys know I love, and that me myself, I hold security licenses. So Sir Stanley, how are you doing today, my bro?
I'm great. Blessed by the best.
Yes. Tell me and tell the people, how did you get involved in this business, which can be a very lucrative business for somebody, especially in our area, South Florida?
Yeah. It was a combination of things, actually. I was first in a little brief background. I was first had a professional banking career in the Madison, Wisconsin area, and then shortly after that, financial industry, a little financial brief career in the financial industry. My dad got sick and decided to move back down to help my dad. But shortly after I moved down, he passed away. And then I found myself not knowing what to do. I didn't have any ties, any networking connections here in South Florida, even though I'm from Miami, Florida originally. But I went to school in Iowa for 8 years, and I stayed away for extra 8 years in Wisconsin. And then, so shortly after I moved back, again, I was, I didn't know what to do. So I know I like cars, and I knew that the valet service here in Miami, Florida is very in demand, because a lot of people here in South Florida love cars, and very expensive cars at that. And I knew I was a pretty decent driver, and I don't mind driving. So I did that for a little bit. And then shortly after getting a little gig downtown, driving valeting cars in a nice area downtown, I got a securities license, because I seen that there was a little demand in security. And that was right before COVID. So shortly after getting a job in security, just a regular security guard, they shut down the place that I was servicing for my security services. I got hired as just a regular security guard, but then they shut down due to COVID. So I still needed the job, because even though COVID happened, the bills were still coming in. So FP&L didn't care that COVID was happening, and my cell phone bill didn't care. So I decided to do Amazon, and then during Amazon, I figured I'll do Uber, because Uber at the time was blowing up. So while I was doing Uber and then Amazon, I'm like, I still have the securities license. I shortly then got my my G license, which is a armed guard license. I thought to myself, why don't I just put this together, two and two together, and offer a arm security guard, chauffeur business, you know what I mean? Executive protection type of logistics. And so therefore, I thought to myself, at first, when I created my LLC, it was due to, I also have my adjuster's license, my 620 adjuster's license. So I was like, I need an LLC to be an independent adjuster. All right. And then from the LLC, I figured that I can add DBAs. I had these licenses, and I'm like, okay, let me just add a DBA to combine my armed securities license and my driver's license and my chauffeur experience together, and therefore I created SGA Royal Chauffeur. The SGA stands for the triangle that I was trying to put a staple on: the Aventura, Sunny Isles, and Golden Beach area. Is like a little triangle. So I said SGA for Sunny Isles, Golden Beach, and Aventura area. But I do the whole Dade County and the whole Broward County area. What else? Yeah, so that's everything in a nutshell. And then a buddy of mine introduced me to an app called Thumbtack, which has been like a blessing. That's where I usually get most of my my clientele.
I love it. I love it. Can you tell the people though, because even on your website, it says your driver could be have an MBA. So I assume you have an MBA, and is that correct?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I studied. I got my undergrad in health, wellness, and recreation, and then now I shortly graduated after 2008, and then during that time, 2008, I don't know if you remember, but the economy wasn't so hot, and in 2008, and I think people weren't hiring people with education, but they were hiring people with experience. And so I decided to stay in school and get my MBA shortly after I graduated with my undergrad. And then after 2 years doing my for my graduate degree, I graduated 2010 and then stayed in the area up in Wisconsin until 2018.
You guys, what Stanley just did to me, he said, you don't know if I remember, I was going to do that to him when he said he was stayed away for 16 years and say, hey, he started in, elementary with the business, but he did it in 2008. I was already married. And so I've been married over 15 years and I had just come out of grad school like the year previous. So yeah, I remember. Don't let this black don't crack fool you, man. There's a couple grays in this hair, but it's all good. I get it. Now,
yeah.
Let this be a lesson, especially to every young man who's thinking about what am I going to do next. And I know my mother told me, and my pops did too, you got to go to school. Hey, you got to get that master's. But then when you come out, I had a similar story. When you come out, there was no jobs for us in what they said to study. So can I have my money back, please? Right. I don't want to pay for all this, Sally Mae. Y'all lied. Somebody lied to me. So yeah, they lying to you in high school right now, even in college, saying go finish this. There's work. Go look at Indeed right now. Go look up LinkedIn jobs. See if anyone is hiring for your liberal arts or whatever your degree is, folks. Because I had the same experience and I had to work it out and learn. This is what I got to do. Would you have done your MBA if you knew what your MBA stood for in the corporate world when trying to get jobs? I'm just curious.
Well, not to be honest with you, I would have done my BS degree if I knew that, it didn't account for anything. To go on a little tangent, I don't the economy or the job market values the education that people receive as much as it costs. So basically what I'm experiencing is there um, the education's not as valuable as what the job market or the whole is paying out for these education. So it's very contradictory on the price of the educate the college education. It's way too expensive, or employers aren't paying enough to pay for the education and the standard of living for the newly educated person. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, and I would agree. What it is it's a racket. Education is a racket, and you're gonna be paid and charged for the lazy river and the new gym and stadium and all that. But jobs aren't willing to pay you for what education costs you. So exactly. I just wanted to put it out there because y'all, I always tell you, if you aren't doing nursing or being a doctor, even a lawyer right now, I know some lawyers who make $25,000 a year. It ain't what you think is gonna be. Look at the market. Now let's get back into this executive protection, because this sounds to somebody right now, they say, oh, all I have to do is get my G&D security license. Do I also have to get a CDL? Because, with Uber and Lyft, I know I hold a CDL because I used to work in the oil field for a brief time, and I've had a trucking company. But so I have that. So I tell people a CDL made me so much more money. Especially you could do that at 20. You could do that coming out of prison, out of jail, off a divorce, whatever your scenario is. And I don't wish any of that on y'all, but in case you have any of that, you can get it and make $100,000. But do you have to have a CDL? And have you also had to use your security licenses where you had to get physical?
No. Thank goodness. I say to myself, you want to get paid for your G, but you don't want to use your G. If you get what I mean. So thank goodness, the Lord blessed me for I'm not putting me in a situation or helping me avoid a situation where I have to use physical force and you know what I mean. But yeah, I mean it is simple as that. There's a law, or there's a feature. If you chauffeur less than 15 passengers, you don't need a CDLs. So I'm just staying under that number. All you just need is a regular driver's license, and you can drive up to 15 passengers if you like. So that's my niche. That's my market right there. Yeah. And then obviously, Yep, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead with the obviously. Take your time.
Yeah, and then obviously, I just again use my, got my licenses for security officer, and yeah, and there it is. And then I know the area very well. Basically, my main focus was offering. What I really want to get into is offering the private tour feature with everything else. Like my target market is these high executives, high profile individuals that would like basically a butler slash chauffeur slash executive protection type of person. And then towards later of the evening, after I guess the work hours, if they would like someone to drive them to dinner or show them around town, um, I'm all in one package. I'll be your butler, your business assistant, your personal assistant, your executive protection, your chauffeur. So I wanted to offer that total package, and SGA came about.
Now, can you tell the people who are thinking about hiring you, we got the folks, if you think this is a cool, job, which I definitely do. It reminds me of like the Kevin Costner, Bodyguard.
Exactly.
Heck, you might fall in love with, a potential future Whitney Houston, what is like when someone wants to hire you, and they can go on Thumbtack and you guys can see the prices. I don't want to say the prices in case he ever runs a special or the prices ever go up. You say, I heard in this interview that. No. Go to Thumbtack, go to his website, go do the booking. But it's affordable especially if you need that. I don't want you to be one of these rappers, entertainers with all your jewelry on in a unknown place, and you don't have anybody watching your back. Especially if you used to be a former jacker yourself, right? Hello, I'm talking about somebody, but you guys can read between the lines. But can you talk about when people hire you, how does that work? Like if they want to go to a concert, do they then have to buy a ticket for you, or does the venue allow you as security, executive protection, to go in with them, or a movie theater? How does that work?
That's a good question. Obviously, it's up to the venue and the situation. Now, if the guest or my client would like to, let's say, go to a special event, now I will do my due diligence and scope out the scene first. Doing my job as a executive protection, you always want to. My process is checking out the venue and the location prior to me taking my client to the event or the location, and then you will ask questions like, I'm bringing in you'll try to talk to the head security person and say, I'm bringing in my client. I'm their personal bodyguard. And now, first and foremost, you want to ask if there's weapons allowed inside their venue. Most of the time, they'll say no, and then you would definitely want to communicate that with your client. And then after that, you would ask the head of security, would I need to purchase a ticket to enter the venue if I'm actually working for someone that's trying to enjoy the venue. So yeah, so you just want to make sure you do your due diligence, do the groundwork that a executive protection type of person would do.
Okay, so you're not doing your job if you just show up with your client like, hey, we going in, and you haven't even scoped out the place. And maybe that's where, the MBA and having to do all them papers and, oh man, I got to do the thesis, the dissertation, this, that, the third, that could come into play. Because I could hear somebody's mama cringe and say, I've been trying to get my baby out the house, or I don't want them to come back. Don't tell them don't do their MBA. We're not saying don't do education, just be wise about your education. Now, right. Now with that, somebody hires you. Nowadays, you don't know who is who, what is what type of background check or what type of survey questionnaire do you have for your clients, so if they may be like, being looked at by the cartel or some local outfit or outlaws? Like, what do you do on your end to prepare for them?
Well, my end, to be honest with you, since I get most of my clientele through Thumbtack, I believe these apps do the work for you. Because it's gonna be a liability issue if, obviously, if Thumbtack's allowing these potential felons to go through their services to hire people that they're promoting. So I think to actually use those platforms, they do a thorough background check, and that's my way of knowing that these people are legit if they contact me through these credible platforms like Uber. You know what I mean? Granted, there's people that fall through the cracks and stuff like that, but Uber does a great job of making sure that whoever uses their services is not gonna hurt their drivers, and vice versa. Whoever's driving Uber, they make sure that their driver is not gonna hurt their passengers. So that's how I definitely I leave that to the professionals actually. You know what I mean? So Uber and Thumbtack and all sorts of credible platforms like that will do the background check for you.
Okay, do you ever ask them why they're asking for security? Because Uber, I mean, you might not have anything on your record, you might not have anything, but at the same time, you might be walking around again, $200,000 worth of jewelry. Your ex is crazy, so we need to be looking out for the guy with the red or yellow bandana.
Yeah. With that being said, there is a brief description on why they're asking for security, and what their objectives are. So, again, with these platforms, there's a brief synopsis on the reason for security, and then you as the employee or the service provider, you can choose whether or not if you want to work that type of scenario or work that type of situation. So it's basically the ball's in your court. All you have to do is just like trust and believe that you can handle any situation. I mean, granted, you will have to be witty, be quick on your feet, making sure that you're not putting anybody in danger, putting yourself into danger, and that's why you get paid as much as you get paid, and that's why you have the license that you have, because that's where your professional your professional background, your profession comes to kick into play.
Definitely. Now let the people know, because you guys, we can do this. You're gonna see more of Stanley, because I got some things I want to invite Stanley to. One of them being this weekend, and if he has a few moments, I want him to come check out an event, because I want him to meet some good people. And I'm not even going to ask him about his book yet. It's too early to ask him about his book, but he better start writing and jotting it down for when the time is right. But Stanley, I want. Huh?
Maybe
it's coming though. But I want to know, and even though this is still, it's still fresh, it's still new. What is a community give back that you are doing or that you would like to do in the future?
That's also a good question. Before a couple months ago, I was volunteering my time at a food giveaway at my local church. So I was doing that. Personally, for my business, I don't know. That's something that I've been pondering, but my business is scalable, so I figure that comes into play. I can hire good local people to use my, I guess, brand marketing and hire some people. So yeah, I think that's something that fits that category of serving the community.
Definitely. It definitely does. And you guys have been served with the game. So links, are in the description box, whether you are listening or watching. I know majority of you are listening, but those of you, especially you ladies who clicked over and said, hold on, Stanley said he got a business, an MBA. I didn't hear anything about a family. Let me try to book him and see if I can come in on the back end. Don't do that. Just, holler at him I don't know. Maybe you do need to come on the back end so he can make sure he vets you properly. And, we can have that Kevin Costner Whitney scenario. And I am the semi-pro date doctor. So you guys know next couple I connect with, I want to do the wedding because I am ordained to do that as well. So the best conversations get heard offline. Stanley, let them know where they can find you one more time and any last words.
You're right. I'm in the Miami, Florida area. Just below, just south of the Broward County line. My website is sjaroyalchauffeur.com. I do have a little Instagram, SJ Royal Chauffeur, which I do need help with. I don't know if you have anybody that is good in social media. My time is very wrapped up in my business, so I don't have time to be delving into that social media. And then what else? Yeah, that's about it. That's me in a nutshell.
Brother, we got you. We're going to talk offline. You guys make sure if you do nothing else, you share this game. It will change somebody's life. Y'all be blessed.
Hey family, on November 20th through December 1st, 2022, we will have the all-inclusive Kenya trip. Now, a lot of times people have said, hey, Phil, when's the next trip we'd like to go? I want to see Africa for myself, but this is the time to go. Everything will be taken care of. All excursions are paid. You can do monthly payments. You know, they'll have safari and a 6-city tour. You will see Charlie Island, which is something that we did not see last time on the tour. This tour will be 12 days instead of 7 days. So make sure to secure your place on the trip by going to www.wbsvs.com, make your deposit, and then you can start making your payments, and we'll see you in Kenya.
Hi everyone. Have you ever been curious about visiting Africa? Which African country were you interested in? Kenya, Nigeria, Uganda, South Africa, Ethiopia? Which country are you interested in? My good friend, Kellen Cash Coleman, came up with a course called My First Trip to Africa that'll guide you through this process. It's only $20, and in this course you'll learn about passports, visas, vaccinations that you need before you go there, as well as a budget, how much the trip is going to cost. He also talks about what you should pack, what you should take with you, how you should travel on a budget. Did you know that $100 is worth 1,000 South African rand and over 10,000 Kenyan shillings? So imagine what you can do with $100 back home. I say back home because I'm from Sudan, I'm African, I already know how it's like. I know that, you know, when you convert Canadian and American money, it goes a long way when you're traveling across Africa. So if you're curious, if Africa is a place that you've always wanted to go, always wanted to move there, Kellen Cash is the person to ask. Check out the course. There's a little preview you can listen to before you actually purchase it. If you're interested in this course, visit www.diversifiedgame.com. Don't miss out.